I'm going to go over some framing concepts from cross-side bottom. This first set of concepts I'm going to go over is longer range concepts, and we're going to use two frames. There's only two frames in Jiu-Jitsu. There's a long frame, which is a straight arm, and then there's a short frame with the elbow. So we're going to use both of those, and it's going to be some recovery and keeping the top guy from settling down once he gets a pass. So I'm going to be in my guard bottom. Alan's just going to do a traditional knee slide pass here like that, and then he's going to come over to a cross sides. There. So we're going to use frames to stop his advance. So as Alan comes over and knee slides, my first frame is going to be a long frame. I'm going to take this hand, and I'm going to go thumb in the armpit right here like that, and I'm going to go to my stiff arm right there. This is going to stop Alan's advance here like this. And from here, I got a couple of options. Option number one is to build a base. And here's how you build a base. Slap, slide, palm, come over, or thumb in the armpit, slap, slide, palm. Maybe I can't build a base. You can come out that way, that's fine. So I'll either push forward and knock him over, or I'll pull myself out. So my frame is going to stop his advance. Next step. Alan comes over, I get my frame in, he continues to move up this way, like that. There's a certain point with my frame where when my elbow gets even with my shoulder, it starts to break down and I'm going to have to switch. So that's the key point for me. So my frame is good, it's good, it's good, it's good, it's good. Here, now I'm in trouble because my frame is reached my shoulder point here. So if it goes up here, he can kill it down and then I'm dead. So I'll show you how we're going to solve that. We're going to switch frames. Alan comes over, I get my frame in, he continues this way, and I'm going to switch my frame over to the other side, there, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to build a base. Slap, elbow, in, and go. So let's look at that again. That works pretty good. Next phase, Alan comes over. I get my long frame here. He feels this frame and he starts taking his shoulder and shoving it in the back of my elbow like that to try to break it. From here, I'm going to have to switch to a short frame because of the pressure on my elbow. If he keeps pushing down, he's going to break it down there and then it doesn't work anymore. So watch how this is going to work. There, he starts pushing against it. I'm going to grab his cloth here and I'm going to use my entire body and I'm going to jack him up with my elbow here like that. And now I've built my short frame there. Works pretty good. What am I going to do with this hand? Slap, build a base, and come up. So without Alan, my going to the short frame looks like this. I'm feeling pressure on my elbow. I'm going to grab cloth, and then you have to use your body. So I'm not going to do it with my elbow like this. Watch my core. I'm going to go like that. And so it's using your whole body and crunching to build to your short frame, which will reestablish a good frame that keeps the body out. Slap, here, here, and then you can bump him over, or you can bring yourself out. So let's look at that one more time. Alan comes over, here, like that. He starts to press that down. I'm going to use my body to jack him back up. Slap, here, here, and over. Now let's look at this hand a little bit because it's really key. When Alan comes over with the knee slide pass, if he can grab this arm, yeah, then now he's really got me screwed, because if he starts lifting up on this like that, he can flatten me out and finish his pass. So when a guy is in a sort of a long range pass, you have to keep them from grabbing this arm at all costs. So it'll look like this. I got this. I'm not going to leave this arm hanging out here where he can grab it. because then I'm going to get in trouble. So this arm, it's going to be doing one of two things. One, it's going to be over here out of the way so that when he tries to grab, he can't get it. Or two, the only other really good thing he can do is grab the hand here like that, because if I'm grabbing his hand, he can't grab mine, like that. And then, you know, some guys will do some Kimura stuff. So as Alan goes ahead and finishes pass, they turn his hip over. Kimura sweep stuff, but that's neither here nor there. So this hand, make sure you keep it safe. So as Alan comes over and I establish this, I can't leave this hanging here. Get it out of the way, or grab his hand with it like that. If he starts crushing my elbow down, I'm going to use my body to bring it back in. And I'm okay because I got his hand here, like that. All right? There. So now we're going to go, the next phase is Alan's going to get even closer. So he's going to come down in. I got my long frame. Now he's going to start turning his hip over here like that to come to a cross side. Yeah, there. So once he turns his hip over, I'm going to have to build short frames with my hands. So we're going to do that next. Slides over. I get this. He starts coming over. My elbow is going to come in his armpit right here like that. And then this is going to make a beam. And then I'm going to make a post with this hand. It's going to grab my wrist. And then I'm going to turn right here like that. This is really nice pressure, and you can see how I'm lifting him up here. If I keep going, I can actually change this into a long frame and then sit up and off. So one more time. There, here, or here, or here, like that. Either one works great. Make sure that when you do this one, that you're not on the wrist here, because if you're on the wrist, you can press that down like that, and you get screwed. You got to be, short frame is with the elbow, so you got to go all the way to the elbow right here, like that. And if you have the elbow, then watch how I can generate pressure with my elbow as Alan works a little bit there. I can really generate a lot of good pressure with my elbow, so I can keep him off. If I go to the wrist instead, he can crush that down. Yeah. So that's how you got to do your frame. Next phase, I'm going to work some switching back and forth with my short frames here. So watch how I switch. And what I want you to notice is that I'm framing with the elbow, making a post here, or I'm going to make a beam here, excuse me, with the point of the elbow and the armpit, and then this hand's going to grab my wrist. And it's going to look like this. So elbow in the armpit, grab the wrist, and that will allow me actually to come up on my side here because of the position of this hand. Now when I go back the other way, under the armpit, all the way to the elbow, this hand's going to grab the wrist, and that's going to allow me to tuck this in and come up on my side. It also gives me a little bit more strength in my frame. So what I don't do is this. This doesn't work very well. This works great. So it's going to look like this, like this, like this, like this. Here we go. That's a really nice frame, and it keeps him from locking down to your upper body. Next one, we're going to go a little bit tighter. So Alan's going to start with the collar grip. He's not quite in a deep shoulder justice yet, but he's got a collar grip here, and I know he wants to shove his shoulder down. So once he gets the shallow collar, he's going to work his way into a deep cross sides there, like that, and then I'm screwed. So once a guy gets a collar, I want to keep him from progressing to a deep shoulder of justice. So I'm going to do that with my frames. So I already messed up and he got the collar. So the next thing I'm going to do is frame on it. So I'm going to take this hand, tuck it in the armpit here, and go all the way to the elbow, like that. This hand grabs the wrist, and then I frame that out. So he's got that collar, like that. This hand's going to come in, go all the way to the elbow, like that. This hand goes on the wrist, and then I frame it out. There. Again, he's got a shallow grip. He doesn't quite have a deep grip yet. His hand goes all the way to the elbow, like that. Grab the wrist, tuck your elbow in, and then frame. And then you can see from here, it'd be pretty easy to pull guard. Not so bad. Looks pretty good. We're gonna go in deeper. So now Alan got in deeper here, and he's in a tighter shoulder of justice here. I still want to build that frame though. So I'm going to put my hand on his ear, and I'm going to shove his head down to my legs. So watch how this is going to work. See my long frame? I built to a long frame. Now this one's going to come underneath. Elbow in the armpit. Hand on the wrist, tuck it in. There. Got him in a pretty good spot here. If I want, I can switch to my long frame. Here. So you can see how it's just long or short frames. So one more time. He's in deeper. Hand on the ear, and I'm going to push down to a long frame. This isn't good. That's good. All the way to the long frame if I can get it. This hand comes underneath, and then go all the way to the elbow. And then I can turn now and apply pressure. There. Like that. I can slip out. I can change my short frame to a long frame, take it over if I want, but I have a lot of good leverage. So let's go over the whole thing from start. We'll review all the concepts. So as Alan comes over, long frame here to keep him out. This hand I have to hide, so I can't let him grab it. So I'm going to do that by keeping it out. Build the base to my elbow, build the base to my hand, or I can grab the hand here, not the wrist, and it'll also keep him from being able to get my sleeve here. If he starts to kill this down by shoving on it like that, I'm going to use my body in a crunch. I usually grab cloth because it's going to give me a bit more leverage, and I use my body in a crunch to lift him back up. And now I'm in my short frame here. Don't let him grab this. That's okay, like that. And then I can sit up or I can back out. Two. Let's see, what do we do? I get the long frame and he comes forward so my elbow gets high, I'm going to switch to the other long frame and then turn away. When I turn away, I'm going to build the base, slap, elbow, hand, and then he should go over. That'll work great. If he starts to come back, it's possible I could end up in a short frame here, that's fine. And then maybe he even keeps going that way, and I have to turn my short frame this way. This is fine. Maybe he sits out towards my head, and I go long frame here, it's fine. What am I doing? I'm keeping him from grabbing this arm, because he can't have it. There. And then lastly, Alan gets up tight here. I'm going to find a way to get my frames, build my long frame with this one, all the way to the elbow, turn over, posting beam here, and then if I want, I can build to a long frame here.